guys, welcome back to the ExamRevision YouTube channel. My name is Ellen and today we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of the mocks. The mocks are quickly approaching and I just wanted to give you some tips, some do's and don'ts, and things that you should avoid and things that you should be implementing. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. The first thing I want to talk about is starting studying early. Your mocks are probably between like end of January, end of February, sometime in that month. Obviously it is December right now and I really hope that you are all studying. The earlier you're starting to study, the better chance you're going to have to do well in your mocks. Obviously at the end of the day, it still is only your mocks. It is not the be-all end-all, but I really do think you should be studying now and early to give yourself the best chance in doing decently. You are not expected to learn off the whole course and get everything done by January/February, but you want to be giving it a good go. The mocks are there for a reason, so please do study for them now. They will imitate the exact leaving cert scenario that you are going to be in June, and getting mock feedback is so important on maybe topics that you thought you knew really well. So please start studying now. Start to be prepared. They are coming up around the corner and they are such a good learning opportunity if you put work into it. Also, by starting early and studying now, it means that by the time your leaving circle rolls around, you will have finished everything and you will just be revising the syllabus. So think about it in the long term that this is for your leaving cert and not just your mocks. Because if you're starting to study really hard now, you're giving yourself the best chance for your leaving cert in June. The next thing I want to talk about is creating a timetable that builds up to the mocks. I feel like you should be figuring out what topics that you want to have learned for the mocks. For example, for biology, you're not going to have the whole course learned. You will barely have even been taught half the course by that point, but you should really write down for every subject how much you want to know and what you want to test yourself on in the mocks. In biology, you might be able to pick 5 or 6 chapters to learn off and see how well you do. So then you need to be creating a timetable to make sure you have those 5 or 6 topics in biology learned off by the time the mocks roll around. So create a timetable early that builds up to the mocks and tick it off every week. If you find you're adding too much to your timetable and trying to aim to get too much done every week, you can pull it back then and adjust your timetable as you go on. But definitely create a timetable. Don't just start learning random stuff off. You won't be able to keep track and the mocks will eventually roll around and you will barely have stuff done that you wanted to get done because it was never scheduled into a timetable. I do have a completely different video on creating study timetables, so if you want to create one yourself, I would definitely recommend checking it out. The next thing I want to talk about is staying organized. I don't know about you, but for me, the main reason that I procrastinate or I don't want to study is because I'm disorganized and I don't want to face the pile of stuff that I have to organize, whether that be a pile of notes that I need to put away, whether that be I've fallen behind in maths and I'm struggling to catch up and I'm very confused. My main reason anyway for not studying is because I'm disorganized. So do not let yourself fall behind. Keep on top of everything. Every day after school, put your notes away. In subjects like maths that are difficult, keep on top of it. Do your homework. The more organized you are and the more clean your study space is, the more organized your brain is going to be and you will not feel so terrified to start studying because you don't have a daunting pile of things that you need to do beforehand. The last do I want to talk about is using all of your resources. Using your teacher's notes, YouTube videos, the ExamRevision courses. Pull from all of your resources. If you have a tutor outside of school, use their notes as well. Because not everything is going to be perfect. Your teacher's notes that she's giving you are not going to be perfect. You might not realize how important a definition is or how important a diagram is. Whether if you're pulling from lots of different resources, you will quickly realize what is the most important information that you need to know and what you need to remember. If you are struggling in a particular subject, I would highly recommend checking out the ExamRevision courses and bundles. They have H1 standard notes, video lessons, presentations, quizzes. All of the exam questions are filtered by topic and the answers to them are on the back of them. So if you click on it, it flips around, gives you the answer. So much easier to use than the state examinations website. Awfully made website. We even know a girl who took an 8th subject for the leaving cert purely using ExamRevision, no tutor, didn't study it in school, nothing, and got a H1 of the subject. Purely just using examrevision.ie. So if you are struggling in a particular subject, I would highly recommend checking them out. And again, it is great to have an extra resource there. We are now going to move on to the don'ts of the mocks. The first thing I want to talk about is don't panic. Don't overload yourself and start studying 8 hours a day and trying to cram everything in because you are just going to burn yourself out. It might work for a day or two, but then you will just stop studying entirely because you physically will not have the energy to maintain that. Cramming, overloading yourself is not maintainable long term, and if you're cramming, none of that information is being retained in your head. On that topic, do not procrastinate. The longer you procrastinate, the more stressed you're going to be. And again, that is going to lead to cramming, that's going to lead to overloading yourself and burning out. The last thing I want to talk about is sleep. Sleep is so important and is so much more useful to your body and your brain than staying up all night cramming information. At the end of the day, the point of this video is cramming is useless and you will not retain any of that information and you will have to learn it all again for your leaving cert. So why waste your time? Do not plan on doing all-nighters for your mocks. It's useless. At the end of the day, they're not your leaving cert. But at the end of the day, getting 8 hours sleep is going to do you so much better in the long term than trying to cram information that you're going to forget a day later. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video and I will talk to you all next week. Bye!